Live. Let's check on YouTube to make sure that we are live, because that would be tragic if we were not.
Your channel. Your channel. We are live,
Yep. Cool.
but I don't see anything.
Yeah, it should be the starting soon screen. Tragic if we were not.
I'm gonna pop this on Twitter and see what happens.
Let's do it.
How do you spell penitentiary?
I didn't know how to spell. This is why I went with Tentry. My brain was like, this is too much for me to handle.
Yeah, we gotta start doing this every day.
Almost. Yeah, we do. I agree.
We keep saying it, but
I know. Then life comes the way. All right, cool. Yep, so it's live on YouTube, so it'll save as a VOD on YouTube. So if we want to turn this into a podcast too, we could do that.
perfect.
Let me make sure I can hear me talking.
Yeah, let me put it.
Yep, so it's live on YouTube.
I have to start
so
using Discord like way.
Yeah, I can hear us talking. All right, we're all good.
Perfect. Can you still hear me?
All right, cool. I'm gonna switch over to the cams. What's up, Rain? How you doing? See you in the chat, of course. Yeah, guys. So this is the new setup. This is even the newer setup. Got Ant in his big hat. Got me and my stupid mustache. But yeah, we'll be live on here hopefully like every single day that we can. That way,
we're gonna push for it.
We are gonna push for it. If you want to be really live on the YouTube stream, you guys are gonna be a little bit behind right now. If you want to skip to actually being live with us, just hit the settings tab down at the bottom and hit playback speed and hit 2 times, and it'll catch you all the way up until you're basically listening to us talk as we are talking. Instead of being like, I think it's like 30 or 40 seconds delay. That's what YouTube naturally does on their live streams. So there you go. I'll probably do that PSA every single time we go live. That way you guys can have a little bit more interaction with the chat. And it's not 30 seconds behind. We're not like talking about things randomly.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thank you guys for all coming out. All right, you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's talk about your boy first.
All right, let's talk Mackenzie and Baco. So those that don't
First
know,
of all, you said that you were down the street from all this.
Yeah, I was. So you're getting a bystander point of view. And so basically, Mackenzie Baco was arrested this weekend on 2 counts of misdemeanors. One was trespassing, and one was I don't remember what the second one was. But again, both
resisting arrest.
Resisting
Your boy
arrest.
was resisting.
Yes,
resisting arrest.
Yes. Okay, but here is actually what happens. My guy Mackenzie goes and orders. I'm assuming orders online on the Taco Bell app, and drives through the drive-thru to pick it up. And he gets up to the window, and they tell him it's closed. Now, if anybody has ever lived in Bloomington ever, you will understand this immediately when I say that it is the worst run McDonald's in the history of the universe. Taco Bell, sorry. The worst run Taco Bell in the history of the universe.
The one off Walnut, right?
The one off Walnut. It's like, so Walnut and College are like our 2 main streets in Kirkwood. They run like perpendicular, like to each other, right? So that's like at the crossroads of everything. Like that's where the bars are. There's like 4 bars that are huge right next to it, and so everybody goes to Taco Bell when they're done with the bars because that Taco Bell's supposed to be open until 3 a.m. My dude pulls up at like 2:10 to the Taco Bell, which they should still be open for another 50 minutes, and they tell him it's closed, which is a Bloomington staple. That is the thing you always get at that Taco Bell. So when you pull up at 2 a.m., they say it's closed because they don't want to work. Okay, that's it. They want to be closed, but they can't be closed. So they're sitting there pretending like it's closed. It's BS. And I am sure Mackenzie, who's now 2 a.m., probably was out drinking or having a party and just wants some food, is sitting there like, why can't I get my food? And which they call the cops on him. And being a young black man in America, that ends up being a situation you don't want to be in. And now he's probably pissed as all hell that he got the cops called on him for the food that he ordered that he already paid for online, and they're telling him it's closed at the window. He is a hero, okay, and he should be saluted as one. And they need to rescind the two charges because he doesn't deserve them. Like, he is a hero. He's the hero that we didn't know we deserved, but we needed for Bloomington, for people to realize that it's the worst run Taco Bell in the history of the universe. So there you go. And yes, I was down the street from this. I was waiting in line to go upstairs to a bar, and I saw the cops go by at 2 a.m., and I said, this is always a bad thing whenever you see cops in Bloomington at 2 a.m., and it's true. And ended up being a bad thing for Mackenzie on this night.
Whole thing doesn't really make sense. And they can't say that they were actually closed because
it says they're open.
You said that they close at 3.
Yes, it says they're open till 3 on the website. Yes.
If they're open till 3, and you get booked at 3:15, there's just not enough time
to get booked.
To get one. First of all, if they were indeed closed at 3:00, it means that he would have to get there at 3 or 3:01, right?
Yep.
You have to get there, have the argument, have enough time for the cops to get there, have that everything go down, and then the cops had to break his passenger side window, right?
Yeah, because he wouldn't get out
of the car. And then they had to do their thing enough that he's booked as resisting arrest, get him in the car, get him to the police station,
which is
get his information for booking at 3:15. There's no shot.
No.
There's no shot.
This
the math
at 2 a.m.
is not math, bro.
And it happened at 2 a.m. because I was in line at 1:55 and heard the cops. Okay, it happened exactly at 2. This whole situation.
Math ain't mathing.
And math ain't mathing. So again, poor Mackenzie, who now has 2 charges against him for just wanting Taco Bell and dealing with the worst employees at the worst run Taco Bell in America.
What do you think happens? Like, do you think this is more like an in-house thing? Do you think he's suspended the exhibition? Or?
He'll be suspended for the first half of the first exhibition, and they'll tell him that he wouldn't have been if they didn't have to do this for PR reasons. And that will be it. I would be so surprised, unless he did, like, got into a fight with a cop, which I don't think he did, because then it would have been a criminal. It would have been like the resisting arrest would have been like a higher level of misdemeanor, right? It was like a class 1A misdemeanor, so it was like the lowest it can get for a booking. So like if he had been like actually like physically assaulted an officer or something like that, it would have been a higher charge, right? So
makes sense.
So I don't see anything happening from this at all. But it's just funny because when it came out, I was like, oh God, oh no, like here goes the season, right?
It sounded
so bad, and then you like actually find out what it is, and you're like, oh, it's nothing, like literally nothing.
It's not bad at all, right? But it's one of those things where because it's going to be handled in house, it's probably worse than any outhouse punishment that you can get. You'll probably run crazy amount of stairs, crazy amount of sprints.
Yeah.
Before practice, after practice, all those things. Just yeah, whole thing's overblown, in my opinion.
Very overblown.
So, all right. So, moving on from that, what is the most recent? Did you see the Koozie Awards? The preseason Koozie list?
Yeah, where they didn't have a single Michigan State player on it.
Yeah, that was kind of wild to me. Um, when it comes to the koozie list and preseason, like I get it. Look, if you want to consider Tyson Walker a point guard,
Mm-hmm.
like that's fine. Like
Right.
I don't agree with that, but you have to have someone there. Because based on this list, you would say that the top 3 point guards in the league are not on Michigan State. They had Boo Booey, Jameer Young, and Ace Baldwin. Now Ace hasn't played against high major comp yet,
Yeah.
and coming from VCU, and he is more of a scorer. Pretty good defender though.
Mm-hmm.
Boo Booey, I get it. Jameer Young, I get it. Um, just a lot of disrespect for AJ Hogard, man.
Yeah,
A lot of disrespect for that dude.
especially when he held the preseason leader and for that award, Tyler Kolek, to like no, like nothing. He held him to nothing in the NCAA tournament, right? He was like
He
what?
killed the dude.
Yeah, he was like
He,
six
he killed the dude.
points, 6 rebounds, maybe. He was like one of or like two of like 10 from the field with like 4 turnovers or something like that. Like it was
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad.
It
I
was
don't have the
definitely
stats
bad.
up in front of me, but I know he owned him in that matchup. And so
It
to
was
not
definitely bad.
make an appearance after punking the dude in that matchup the year before, the season before, a little sus. But I think the national media in general is underrating Michigan State's roster a lot, and especially the continuity that they have coming back, and how that's going to help them be a force, especially at the beginning of the year, right? Because again, they've all played with each other. They're not really working out any kinks in that backcourt, right? The 3 guys: Tyson Walker, AJ Hogard, and then our guy who I got us in trouble with. Um, you know,
Yeah,
yeah, they're going to be good from the jump.
I think their issue last year wasn't their team in general. Their issue last year was his depth.
Yeah.
Like when they had 1 or 2 guys go down, like they had to play some strange rotations. They had to play some guys who usually wouldn't play that much. Um, and when you have a rotation as tight as they were last year, you can't really afford to have a bunch of injuries. This team's a bit different. I think you're going to have less mileage on these guys
Mm-hmm.
early on too. You're not going to, see Tyson Walker and all these guys playing 35 plus minutes early consistently like they had to last year.
Right.
So, so overall, their depth altogether is just going to be way better, way better. And why AJ Hogard is so why he's so underrated is because people just look at you know his offense, where offensively, he'll have his 11, 12 points, 5, 6 boards, 5, 6 assists, but where he changes the game is on the other end. Like, yeah, he controls pace and initiates and all that stuff, but we've seen him guard the best guards. Like we've seen him match up against Chris Murray. We've seen him guard he's going to guard the best perimeter player
On the
on the
opposing
other
team.
team.
Yeah.
And remember when Ohio State beat them in the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah.
That was because Bruce Thornton was killing Tyson Walker. And it had nothing to do with Tyson Walker's skill. Bruce Thornton just had him by 50 pounds.
Yep.
He was destroying. And then all of a sudden they switch AJ on him, and Bruce Thornton got shut off, completely shut off.
Yeah.
But then other dude now goes off now because AJ can't guard more than one dude. But that's where his value is. Like not only can he impact on the offensive end, but on the defensive end, he's going to make teams literally play 7 to 9 feet further than they want to. Teams are so used to playing within 22, 23 feet, moving the ball, getting to their concepts, initiating, point of attack, doing all these things. He's going to force you to play past the NBA 3-point line.
Mm-hmm.
That's not where teams practice their stuff. So now, because they're operating 5, 7, 8 feet further from the basket, that's where that shot's coming from. Now that mid-range that was supposed to come off this curl, that curl is now coming off at 23.
Yep.
That post-up that was supposed to happen on the block, now that's on the second hash mark, all because of what he's doing up front.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But a lot of that stuff doesn't really show up. So these guys who just box score watch, they're not going to see that.
Right.
You know, unless you're really watching these games. And a lot of these guys don't, because they have so many responsibilities in the media.
Mm-hmm.
They're not watching these games. But I can tell you straight up, like AJ Hogarth, to me, top 10 point guard in the country. Easy. It's not even close. And to have 3 point guards in his own conference ahead of him is pretty disrespectful.
Yeah, I don't even think Michigan State. Michigan has 2 point guards. Like, if you want to call Tyson Walker a point guard, that should be ahead of Ace Baldwin. And no offense to Ace Baldwin. No offense to Ace Baldwin. Ace Baldwin's an awesome basketball player, and he's going to be great.
I had Ace at number 4 on my point guard list.
Exactly. But the Michigan State has 2 guys ahead of him. 2.
Yeah.
And they didn't make it on
the At least national media is on the same page as me as, you know, I do have AJ as 1. Now, Boo Booey 2, I believe. Jameer Young 3. Ace Baldwin at 4. And I think you're probably not going to. No. Do I have Braden Smith? No. Do I have X at 4?
I think you have X at 5.
X at 5, and Ace was at probably at 6.
Yeah.
Because I have Braden top 5, I believe.
Yeah.
Which you probably hate, but you know, it's your cousin.
He's my cousin. It's fine. It's all right.
Your cousin. It's all love. It's all love, bro. It's all love.
So yeah, that's the Michigan State. One of the Michigan State controversies, I guess. That's their good controversy from this weekend.
Yeah, that's the good one. That's the good one. Urban Meyer's coming, so it's all good.
Is he going to Michigan State or Michigan after Harbaugh gets the can?
Come on, man. He doesn't. he won't even say Michigan, bro.
No. He can't.
He won't even say it, bro.
Are we gonna talk about the Harbaugh stuff?
If you want to, I'm down.
I would love to touch on the Harbaugh stuff because I think that is.
Well, let's touch base on it.
All right, let's do
it.
Let's do it. All right, so look, Michigan football's in trouble right now. A little bit of national media attention in the wrong direction, right? What is it? Can you give me the lowdown on it, basically, from a Michigan perspective? Like, a staffer going to other games and buying tickets, like he bought 2 tickets to the Penn State-Ohio State game this weekend?
Yeah, like, that's, whole thing is hilarious. First of all, it is like one of the most comedic things that I have seen so far this year. Like, this dude, Connor Stallions, I'm not gonna lie. He's followed me on Twitter for like years, and I always thought that he was like a fake account. I'm like, yo, like, who is this? This guy's not a real person. Like, he's just not real. I didn't know that he was real until this last week.
Well, everybody knows he's real now.
Yeah, I see Connor Stallions. I'm like, that's a real person? I had no clue dude was real. And just one of those things where, I'm listening to as many. I'm trying not to listen to media. Mm-hmm. I'm trying not to listen to the like the Michigan brass, like the echo chamber.
You're not trying to listen to the blue wall.
You can't do it. Yeah, you can't listen to Sam Webb. You can't listen to Chris Ballas. You can't listen to any of these guys. You can't listen to, and that's nothing against them. I just need a neutral. I need a neutral voice.
Third party, yeah.
Yeah. So whenever stuff like this comes up, I always look at someone with legal background because I believe that they would have. And then when it comes to the legal background, I want to see someone with a Michigan lean and a non-Michigan lean, just to see where they're both coming from. because they can talk about one of the bylaws and they can interpret it two separate ways. I want to see how they're interpreting it. Because I think what's going to come out of this whole thing is that I don't know if the bylaws are worded well enough to come down hard on Michigan. That's kind of what I'm getting from a lot of these things. And I think by the end of it, I think this is going to open up pretty much a lot of amending to the bylaws, where they need to be more specific because what's written now is just not detailed enough. It doesn't cover enough bases. It doesn't close a lot of loopholes. So the big question is if Connor Stallions was able to go out and hire these people to go to these games, were they now considered contracted employees? Right? Or did he just give these people tickets and they're going to games? Then it's like, well, they had their phones out. Do you know how many phones are out at these these football games? You know what I mean?
Everyone has a phone. Like everybody's taking pictures.
Everyone's taking pictures. Everyone's taking their own videos.
Some people have two phones. We don't want to know what the reason they have two phones.
The moment.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to capture that moment. Like everyone sees the moment on TV, but they want every angle, right? They want to see the other angle. They want to see the diagonal angle. That Cooper DeJean run back, right? The one that was taken back. I saw so many videos from the crowd, from the stands, and each one like told its own story, which was super cool. Had a whole bunch of numbers. Everyone's looking for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like even if this person had their phone, like were they just holding up the phone like this for like the whole game for like 3 hours? Like what was going on? I would love to see that video. I would love to see what surveillance they got for that. Because when you go to these games, and in the Big Ten, where you have some of the bigger stadiums, like you're talking about between 75 and 110 people there, 110,000 people.
75 and 110 people.
It's
a high school football.
It's not an Indiana game.
Yeah.
It's not an Indiana game.
Okay.
It's not an Indiana game.
Fair enough.
But it's like these giant stadiums. Like, how can you tell me? Like, there's got to be like, if you really want to come down on Michigan, there's got to be crazy proof. And I was watching Michelle Kirkpatrick. Crazy legal mind. So one thing that she said that was like, Michigan can't be touched this year. Can't be touched because it's 90 days from whenever the NCAA makes these findings and allegations. And was what they already sent, was that it? Has that timeline even started?
Right.
Even if it did start, when is 90 days from now, bro? That's 3 months.
Yeah.
That's what, middle of January?
Middle of January. Yeah, the season's already over.
Season's over. Season's over. And that's for a response back. That's not even for when things start. That's not when from the NCAA comes. Like, these things can last forever. Look how long this whole Adidas thing with Kansas and Pitino went.
Yeah.
That started when? 2018, and that just wrapped up?
Yeah.
And they found Pitino not guilty of anything.
Yeah.
They found him too compliant. And this whole time, he's been thrown in the mud this whole time.
He had to go to Greece.
It's insane.
My man's had to go to Greece to get a job again.
Man, NCAA is crazy, bro. NCAA is crazy. They drag their feet, but they did have the FBI involved. I get it. So it may not last 5-6 years, but it's not gonna happen this season.
It's not gonna happen this season. I will say this is a tougher look on Harbaugh than it is the University of Michigan because it is his staff. Right? Yeah. And that's the staff. The staffers are usually hired through Harbaugh and the coaches that they work for. than it is hired through like university per se, right? There's no coaching search. They're not meeting with the alumni. They're not meeting with the board, right? That's not happening. They're just getting hired for the football program. So again, the NCAA has been trying to go after Harbaugh, right? So if anything, this is a bad look on Harbaugh. I will tell you this from an outsider's perspective, from a third party who just watches Michigan games, because this guy, like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, people are like, oh, they're stealing signs. It's like, all right, so does everybody else. They just do it on game film. And to be honest, it's not like people don't send other people to other games. They just probably don't pay people to go in their stead and then film. Like, come on. We'd be crazy to think that Ohio State isn't sending people to Penn State to watch games, and vice versa. Like, that happens at the high school level. That happens at the college level. It happens in the pros. Right? That's a normal thing. And signs get changed all the time. So even if you're looking at their signs, unless you have somebody behind the scenes in the program telling you, oh, they switched signs this week, these are a new set of signs, how are you supposed to know what signs are what? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Even Matt Rule said that, like, we still signs, other teams still signs,
everyone
signs still
steals
goes on all the
signs.
time.
Of course,
Like,
it's a competitive
there's a
atmosphere.
there's a reason why there's like 5 people giving signs and they got like 5 different color polos on.
Yes.
If anything, I would love if someone knew my signs, because then I knew how to just counter it. It's like, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Exactly. Everybody steals signs. Everybody does. It's a competitive atmosphere. If you're not trying to cheat, you aren't trying. Like,
it's so funny how like everybody wants to be by the book now. You can't do that, but we are literally in pay for play NIL.
Yes, that too. Everything. Okay, NIL money was already happening. That market was already happening. It was just behind closed doors. Now that it's legal, everybody's like, "Wow, this is so great." It was already happening. All this stuff was already happening, and just now it's above board. And a little bit more, like, the alumni can get in on it now, right? A little bit more.
And NIL is meant for name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day. They're like, it's not pay for play. It's not. Even though it is in every single instance, it's not pay for play.
It's just
like, it makes no sense.
It's just by the NCAA's rules that it's pay for play, and that's why they like it, because they get to be in charge of it at the end of the day, and they can govern it, right?
Exactly.
It's stupid. And again, you have a coach in Harbaugh who doesn't like the NCAA, and they don't like that he's at the top of their biggest sport. Straight up.
Yeah. Did you see that there was a maniac up here in Maryland just driving around drunk? Like, I didn't know this. I've been scared for my life.
There's a maniac up here in Maryland driving. There's like people driving drunk everywhere. What are you talking about? Is like he's doing this on purpose, or like
the Maryland co-offensive coordinator Kevin Sumlin.
Sumlin.
He got a DUI.
You got the former Texas A&M coach Kevin.
Yeah,
Sumlin?
He's at Maryland, bro. He got a DUI.
He's taking a lesson from Mark Few, I guess.
It's crazy, man. It's been a wild week. Bro. It's been such a wild week.
Yeah, you got Kevin Sumlin driving drunk. You've got Harbaugh's, got the NCAA trying to find every angle to go after him. Mbako's fighting for his life in a Taco Bell.
Can we hold on, bro? Can we? Do you know who I feel bad for?
Who do you feel bad for?
Caden Hauser.
Yeah, I feel bad for Caden Hauser too. Why do you feel bad for Caden Hauser?
Because the coaches had him sprint from the sideline back to the huddle for every single play, just to put up 0 points.
That's so petty, by the way, too. I was like, they're stealing our signs. Let's just have him run wind sprints for the entire game. to be fair to him, he probably ran less wind sprints that game if they had a good offense than they did if they had the offense he currently runs in, which is terrible. Right? So he's out there for less plays.
The coach said they wanted him to use his legs that game, so I guess they did.
Oh my god.
I guess you did. No, bro, like
that's so petty.
You know what though? Great coach, because like it could have been 70-0, but because of that, because they didn't know the signs, it was only 49-0.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, the defense still knew signs though, obviously, because they put up 0 points.
I need Urban Meyer, bro. I need Urban Meyer in East Lansing. So bad.
I'm interested personally. I'm interested to see if Indiana can do better than 49-0. I'm gonna think that game's gonna be 65-0 Michigan. I genuinely think so.
Didn't Michigan already play Indiana?
Did they? No, they did.
They did.
Yeah. Wait, we did better than Michigan State. Let's go. Let's go. Wait, I actually forgot that game happened because I had a painful time. It was like what, 49-7, 52-7? We lost by the same amount.
It should have been 14. It should have been 14.
It should have been 14 too, because you had
Duke stepped out of bounds.
Yes, he stepped out of bounds before he caught it right at the end there.
I remember that. Man.
I forgot that game happened. I'm so glad I forgot that game.
Hey, shout out to Rutgers though. 6-2 bowl eligible by week 8.
6-2 bowl eligible. I mean, they did not play very well on Saturday and won that game comfortably.
Yeah.
That's a sign of a good program and a good team. If you don't have to, thanks, chap. I didn't know what the score was. If you can play games and play poorly and still win, that's a sign of a good program.
Yes. And I think everybody will agree that Rutgers does have they do have a lower ceiling than most schools. But what Shiano's done there, I mean, has been very, very solid.
I mean, the only other good team from the Northeast is Penn State. And Penn State's like kind of Midwestern, to be honest. So
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, the Boston College is crap.
Syracuse's cheeks.
UConn is terrible.
Syracuse's cheeks. They're all cheeks. That is the North cheeks.
The North cheeks. Yeah, there's the closest team to the Northeast that's good is Penn State.
Northeast cheeks. And I won't even consider Penn State Northeast. I would say they're still Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, that's like damn near Pittsburgh. So
I would consider Penn State's in that Maryland region still.
They do recruit a lot from Maryland.
Dude, I see their billboard all the time. All the time. And it's kids from Maryland on billboards.
Yep.
All the time, bro.
The coach knows where he needs to recruit.
Goat Franklin. Goat Franklin's killing me, dog.
You know, if Goat Franklin had a DMV quarterback at QB, they would have won that game.
Man, if he had Noah Kim.
People are talking about Noah Kim to.
People are talking about Noah Kim
to Penn State.
Dude, I am sick and tired, dude.
I had Darnell.
They were running all over Ohio State. They were running all over them, and he refused to run.
I know. I don't understand.
And then when he did go back to running, there were obvious rundowns.
Yeah.
He got 7 yards running on the very first play of the game through the next 2.
Yeah.
Punt.
Doesn't make any sense.
I'm like, oh, that's what we're doing today, Goat?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're overthinking things. Yeah, I had Darnell messaging me at 2 a.m. on a Saturday being like, you need to talk for your crimes. And I was like, what crimes? He's like, you've been telling me Drew Aller's the best QB in the Big Ten. I just saw what he did today. And I was like, everybody has bad games.
He's gone downhill, bro. He's gone downhill.
It's just, I think people have keyed in on the fact that he doesn't have receivers. Penn State doesn't have good receivers right now. And he doesn't have time to throw either. And then they're not running the ball. What is he supposed to do?
Yeah. But, I mean, that game... That game was all-time disappointing, though. All-time disappointing.
Yeah, it
I
was.
felt it was just lackluster. I felt like I was watching two pretty good teams,
Hmm.
but they were on like Big Ten West sliders.
I don't like this Ohio State team. I really don't. Their defense is great. Their defense is great. I just don't like. I don't trust them. I just
Marvin
don't.
Harrison is so good.
He's so good, but you have one good corner and a safety kind of cover him. I don't trust this Ohio State team. I just don't. I against
Abuka, when he comes back,
when he comes back, if he comes back,
yeah. How
if
long's he been out for?
I think this was his first week out, or maybe second week,
Gotcha.
because
But yeah,
he played against their last big game against Notre Dame. So
okay.
we got some questions in the chat. Chap asked, "Are all American teams always positionless?" Yes, for the most part. They try to add in sprinkle in some positions, but for the most part, it's the five best players.
I would much rather positionless than anything else. I think if you are recognized as one of the top five players in the country, you're one of the top five players. Whether it's all five are guards, all five are bigs, that's just how it should be.
That's facts.
So I agreed pretty much with the preseason top five. I thought I thought Filipowski was probably a bit of a reach, honestly. Um, and I don't think Baycott is that good. And outside of that, I mean, wasn't bad at all.
Baycott is like I posted the meme earlier
He's
of
like
of
100 years old, bro.
he's 100 years old. Also, like it's the soldiers with the one clown. That's Baycott on that list. What is he doing there? Why is he there? You couldn't. That's not Tyson Walker. That's not. You could put like 10 other players in my opinion over Baycott. I think Baycott being on like the
Crazy.
third team All American, second team maybe if they do really well, sure. But first team All American, top five players in the country, no, no. Russell says, "Hey guys, love the content. What do you think Michigan ball will do with the second guard spot this year? Assuming Doug at the point, love Trey, Olivier, and Reed. I kind of want, I kind of like Yo-Yo or George Washington over Niramani.
Burnett.
Yeah, Burnett. Yeah,
So
Niramani.
when it comes to the two, Burnett is going to be someone who is going to be extremely active, someone who's
Mm-hmm.
going to play defense at a very high level. Um, and Michigan has to try to unlock who he was coming out of high school. And I know that's tough when you've gone through injuries, when you bounce around a bit, you kind of lose your confidence, you do lose your mojo a bit. But just coming back as a secondary guard will be big. Um, Jalen Llewellyn too. Like, don't forget, like he's there. I know last year he struggled a little bit, but he's somebody who, um, he comes in with a lot of experience,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of experience. You've got to you've got to see what he can do, especially off the bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially off the bench. Um, he's been in the program for a while now. He sees like he's seen what the coaches want. He's seen how games should go. I like him. George Washington the third. We'll see how he adapts to high major Division I play and all that. But what's nice about him, GW, is that you had a very young backcourt last year that had no real leadership in the backcourt to lean on. I think this is going to be a little bit different this year. He's going to be able to lean on Doug. He'll be able to lean on Amari. He'll be able to lean on Jalen as well. Guys who have played high major minutes, played a lot of minutes. Doug's coming off a year playing over 1,000 minutes,
Mm.
so he's not going to have a lot of pressure coming in. So that's going to be big for him. So the two is a question mark. I think you can go a bunch of different ways there. Um, but I'm much more concerned about, are they going to find enough shooting? One, and are they going to find, well, part of your issue, a second creator? They really got to find that because you can't just be Doug. Last
It's a
year,
lot
Michigan
on
became
Doug's
a pretty
shoulder.
good team. Yeah, because last year Michigan became a solid team when Doug and Kobe were pretty much tandem, and they were, hey,
Mm.
one went, the other went. Doug didn't mind playing off ball. Kobe didn't mind playing off ball. I think the coaches trusted him, the teammates trusted him. Who's that going to be when, this year? Who's going to be that secondary guy?
I just sneeze. All right. Any last thoughts on any controversies today? Did we miss anything? Because I gotta run.
Yeah, I know you got to run. A couple more questions. What do you think of Terrace retailing this season? Uh, he's the
Armando
only big.
Baycott.
He's the only big on the roster. I mean, I do know that you do have guys like Olivier and all that. You can play a little bit of small ball, but he's somebody who can get on the glass.
Mm.
Defensively, he'll be able to be pretty versatile. And they're not going to play through him, which is going to be something different that we haven't seen from Michigan in 3 years. Is that they've always played through Hunter. I don't think they're going to play through Terrace.
That's gonna be good
They
for
may play
Terrace.
through Olivier, but it's going to be a little bit different this year.
It's gonna be a better look for Terrace because I think when he came in and they played through him last year, they kind of still ran similar stuff when he came off the bench for Hunter. It looked a little bit out of place, but I think if he has less responsibilities on the offensive end and can just do what he needs to do in situationally, I think it'll be a lot better for him.
Yeah, same.
Uh,
Jalen's going to be really good this season. I agree with Rain.
what's the
But you
ceiling
can
for
go
the
ahead.
Michigan team?
Ceiling, I think they could be number 4 or 5 in the league.
Yeah.
They're not going to get there playing pretty.
Mm-hmm.
If they do get there, they're going to get there playing so corny. So corny. They cannot get there playing pretty. They can be in gritty.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've got to play ugly. They've got to muck it up. They've got to slow teams down. They got to shorten the pace of the game. They got to play to their strengths, and that's their size and athleticism and their length. Like they got to play to that. And if they don't, like this team's going to finish like 9th or 10th. That's just how it is.
If they play defense, in a like almost like Wisconsin, like a good
Yeah.
Wisconsin team, if they can muck it up and make it just the nastiest basketball game you've ever watched, that'll be good for Michigan.
Yeah.
So you think
I mean,
Juwan Howard and Greg Gard are getting together and trying to figure out how to make each other's teams better this
I don't know about
offseason?
that. I don't know about that. But remember, like we had um that Johnny Davis Wisconsin team was pretty mid,
Yeah,
right? And they won the league. They should have won the league outright,
yeah.
but they lost to Nebraska without Bryce McGowens.
Oh God, Fred Hoiberg strikes again.
Weird. It's weird, right? It's super weird, but um like I still think Trey Jackson is someone who could be an all Big Ten dude.
Mm-hmm.
Very good player. He's like
Olivier
6'9",
is
6'10".
Olivier is going to be an All Big Ten dude for sure.
A lot is expected of Olivier. He's going to need to really get a option one mindset though. Option one mindset is going to be big. No loss to Central Michigan. Justin, I don't think that's going to happen this year because of their their size and because of their maturity, how much experience they have.
Yeah.
They struggled against a lot of teams early last year because very inexperienced. They had in their 8 or 9 man rotation, like 5 of those guys, they were basically playing for their first time against D1 competition. Terrace, Cheddar, Doug, Jet. Kobe was the youngest player on the team for the second year in a row. Who they were in November really wasn't who they were towards like February. So they had to do a lot of growing, and there were a lot of growing pains. There were like 5 bye games that they struggled in. 5, like Jackson State, Lipscomb, Ohio, the loss to Central, Eastern. Like we're talking about games that were like by like 10 points or less. overtime or a loss. These are bye games. You're supposed to win these games by 30 plus points. Supposed to empty your bench. Supposed to have a fun time. Sing the fight song. Talk to media. Chill with your girl. Like that's what it's supposed to be. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you're not supposed to struggle in these games. If you're in the rotation, your night should be done by the 8 minute mark of the second half. I
Right.
think you'll see more of that this year, and not the same stuff as last year. It's way too experienced. I do think that their ceiling is going to be a bit lower this year, but last year's floor was super low. This team's floor is a lot higher. Is a lot higher. A lot
Yeah.
higher. You'll see more. You should see more consistency this year
Mm.
because of their maturity, because of their experience.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk more basketball with you, Ant. It's about time. Season starts up here in like a week and a half. You ready?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm streaming. I'm streaming the Michigan State game on Wednesday.
On Wednesday? All right. So I'll
Wednesday.
be in playback for that.
Yeah,
Any
I can't wait. I can't wait. It's on Big Ten Plus against Hillsdale, so we should have
Wednesday.
good a good amount in there.
You're gonna
We
force
had 80
Connor
for
to show
Illinois.
up. You're gonna force Connor to show up for a Michigan State thing for once.
I can't force Connor to do anything, man.
I
I can't
know.
force Connor to do anything.
We gotta peer
Connor's
pressure him into doing it.
yeah, a little bit of peer pressure. He'll come in with some twisted teas.
Absolutely. You can twist the T. They're not gonna struggle with Hillsborough, but it'll be nice to see what Xavier Booker's minutes are like in that game. How they kind of use him as a freshman.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see the rotation. Can't wait to see the rotation. But yo, I'm good.
I'm good too. All right. Thanks guys for coming out. We're gonna do this a lot more often. Yeah, if you want to follow us at Big Ten Coast to Coast on Twitter, it's literally right here. And then yeah, go follow Ant and I on Twitter as well. You know where to find Ant. You know where to find me. And yeah, Connor said he retired from playback. Connor says these things and then somehow ends up back doing things. So, anyways, shout out Connor, Spartan Shadows. Go check out the websites. Blue by 90, Hoosier Illustrated, all that jazz.
All of them.
All
I'm
that
gonna
jazz.
say all 20
I can't.
websites.
I can't go through that. I can't. That's too much. That's too much. Basic Blues. Anyway.